Alright there folks, welcome to another Fishing Adventures, and it's match day today. We've jumped on to a Winter League match on the Railway Pond in York. It's a venue I've fished a couple of times, if you've probably seen the other videos. And this is match 2 of 7. Missed the first one because I wasn't really intending to fish any, but it piqued my interest a little bit. It's a natural lake, there's plenty of fish in here, bits of all sorts. It's been fishing rock hard recently as well, so it's another added little challenge. Basically, I'm on peg 19. It's similar to how I did the other video before. The plan of attack is relatively simple. We've had quite a lot of bad weather and a lot of low pressure, so I reckon the fish are going to be in the slightly deeper water. So I found two areas that are 6 foot. So I plumbed up, got 6 foot in two different swims, one just to my left and one just in front of me really. And the idea is I'm going to fish one with the Fiuka. I'm going to go with red and black today, try and get those roach and some skimmers on there, and on the other line I'm going to just feed with chop worm and castor. Okay, I've got some lovely worms here, nice and fresh. I'm going to mix them in, nice little bit of dark Sensus ground bait black, and hopefully we'll get a few fish out. If not, we can always cut the worm out on the ground bait and just loose feed casters in another swim. I've got my eye on somewhere mid-water, about 11 metres. We can just ping casters out and see what happens. So yeah, fingers crossed, stick around. We're not starting just yet, but this one should be good. Don't really want too much worm. I'm just going to fish a wormhead on hook to start with, and see what happens. We'll see, it's a bit windy, although the sun's coming out, so it shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. I've got pegs in either side of me as well, so it makes it a bit tight for space, but that could work to my advantage, depending on how they're fishing. We can see. So I've got some decent sized bits in there. It's not chopped up too finely, and that's going to be the first pot in. Plenty of worm, a few castor, bit of that mud, and a little wormhead on the hook. I've also added a little bit of this liquid worm into this ground bait as well, so hopefully that might just have a little bit of extra appeal. Because as I say, I'm going to start on that left hand line at 6 foot, and just see. But I'm going to kick off and feed the Fiuka line to start with, and then I'm going to drop into this line here, see if we can't steal an early perch of 3 and see.
Where are you going with that ball? Directly in front, but slightly left.
What is that? Nice little perch just on a bit of wormhead. Even if there's a few perch there, we'll get a nice steady bit of weight built up. Got a bulk shotting pattern as well, so it'll get that bait down just where I want it straight away. If it progresses later on and they're coming up in water, I can string them out, start intercepting it, and then I've got different rigs for different heights in water column anyway. So as I say, I'm starting at 6 foot on the deck. I can always go, I've got a rig set up for 5 foot if they do come off bottom a little bit, and we can go shallower if needs be as well. So I think that one took it on the drop, to be honest. So steady away. So we're 15 minutes in, we've had 3 fish, so So yeah, the float is just a 0.4 gram Chianti style, nice and slim, and that's just on 0.12 main line, and my hook length is 0.10, just going down to a size 18 911 hook, perfect for that little wormhead. And on the other line, the Fiuka line, I've got the same float, same setup, except for I've just put a size 16 hook on, and they tend to suit the Fiukas a bit better. They're a slightly bigger bait, so let's see. When did I put a one click of all that? No, so that's 4 fish. Oh, nice little rod that. My only concern is when that sun moves around a bit more, it's going to totally black out my float. I'm not going to be able to see. Ah dear. But we'll see. Not going to worry too yet. I have got my sunglasses, but they're in the car, so I'm going to have to maybe run off and get them. Right in again. So I missed that bite, and it's taken I've had 3 or 4 minutes now without any indications at all, so I'm tempted just to top up Oh, there we go. I was tempted to top up the ground bait, but I don't think I need to just yet. Let's see. I'll just be getting a bit fished out slightly. But... Right then, so a fresh bit of worm on. Let's see if this speeds up the bites at all. Right then, so we're on 7 now. Another nice rub that. So I'm tempted just to shallow this up a little bit and spread that bulk out a fraction. That one seemed to take it on the drop. Well, there's definitely a lift bite anyway, so I don't know if I am too over depth there. I've not noticed any fizzing or bubbles over the right hand line as yet, so I'll leave that. I might shoot. It's only been really early days. We've only been fishing 25 minutes, so yeah, I'm fishing well over depth. I might have to plumb up again, I think. Don't really want to do that, but just gonna drop in, but with the shallower rig over that same line. So I've got slightly more strung out and a couple of droppers, just to see. And again, just a tiny little bit of wormhead on hook. Don't want to do anything too crazy just yet. Still very, very early days. So I might have to just keep topping this line up, come off it for now and try on the Fiuka line. Unless I go a bit further out, fish slightly beyond it, I guess. Yeah, a few mid-water then by the look of that, so that's all good. This bit of worm on. Right, so we've been fishing just over half an hour. We've had 10 fish. Not an idea of weight really. Not much, but I've not really seen anyone else catch much either. The lad next to me's had a couple. The lad other side of me's had a couple. So yeah, as I was going to say, I was going to give this an hour and see what happens, and then drop in on that Fiuka line just to see. Not really checked it, but there's no sign of life over there. One lad's had a bite on the tip. That's about it. But lad next to me's just had a tiny little perch. I know they're not massive fish, but when we're getting regular bites, I mean, we're having a bite of chook, except 2 I've missed. I'm very reluctant to come off it, to be fair. Right then, that's died off a little bit now, I think. This has been moving in. Fishing for the same fish, it's spread them out a little bit, really. So what I'm going to do is a good feed with some Castor Dead Reds, and then I'm going to go onto the Fiuca line, I think, and just see if that makes a difference. Right then. And we're in 6 foot of water. We're literally top 2 plus 2 sections. Very, very deep, close in, so don't see point in trying to fish further out just yet. No one else is really catching, so it's just a matter of seeing. If someone starts catching, we'll get the catty out and get a caster line going, I think. So we'll give this 5 minutes and see. If we don't get any indications of anything after 5 minutes, it's just going to leave it. I did feed it just before I dropped in, so gave it a pole pot at the start and then left it. So if there's anything there, we're going to know within 5 minutes. And then it's just a matter of seeing. We'll drop back in on that left-hand line. Again, just with a bit of wormhead or a caster on hook, and just see. I'm going to top that up with little nuggets of ground bait as well, I think. A few loose offerings. As I say, there was a big swirl on the end at Lily's, so I don't know if there's some eyes coming in or what, but we'll get ready for them if they do. Although they may prefer a little bit of open water, but I've got options to set up other lines as well, so it's still early days. It's not even fished an hour yet, so we've had a proper good start, so nothing doing on those. So what we're going to do is put this to one side, and we'll go back in on that edge. Go on the deep rig, I think, to start with. Got a pole pot on as well. Might as well start getting a little bit of extra feed in there. I don't want to go mental just yet. So I'll see. Right, so I've just gone back in on this left hand side. We've been fishing just under an hour. There's nothing doing on that right hand side as yet. So I'm going to keep plugging away on here. Topped up with ground bait before I had to go on that right hand line. So I've just gone back in now. I've not fed. I'm just using a wormhead on the hook. Again, fishing just slightly over depth at 6 foot. And just keeping everything in line with that marker and everything like that. And we'll just see. If it does go a little bit quiet, what I'm tempted to do is just set up a third line, just ping a few casters out, and see if I can't get a few fish coming in shallow, because this sun is warm, so it should hopefully encourage a few to come up and start feeding. So we're only an hour in. I don't want to make any rash decisions or anything like that. It's just coming up to 10:15 now, and we've got about a dozen fish in net, which is really, really good. Everyone around me's only had 1 or 2, so we're off to a good start. Just need to string a few more together, just consistently, and see. It doesn't help this guy's filling it in now on the other side at Lily's, so it's going to make it difficult. I think it's going to knacker it up a bit, really. Oh, there's a nice swirl there. There's a nice swirl there. So there's a few showing shallow straight away, actually. So I think it's time, maybe, just to start pinging a few pellets. A few casters. I forgot what sort of lake I was on now. Guess we can come shallow and just flick that rig out. And see, I'm not stop having a panic. I don't get the dog eater, so I'm just going to go a little bit further out. Just saying, with the amount of bait going in there, it might have spooked him out what way, you never know. It depends what he's feeding and that, but he's filling it in now with ground bait, so I don't really want to get into a feeding frenzy really and start filling it in just yet. As I say, we're literally an hour in, so could have a very, very detrimental effect, that. So yes, a nice little lift and drop. So they are still there, so that's good. We're not missing too many or losing too many. It'll be won't be too bad. Steady away. So that came on the lift and the drop, so there might be a little bit higher up in water again, and just we'll see. Decisions. It took a longer time coming, but it was a better stamp, so we'll see. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna feed in the pot just a bit of chopped worm. Pop a worm in there, chop him up a bit, cap it off with ground bait, and a couple of dead reds in there. One worm, wakey. Yeah, I think I might go in with that 5 foot rig actually. Let's see. Because as I said, there was no indication of float there. I lifted the float just to do a lift and drop, and that fish was on, so it had taken it. Must have been on the way down easy, but just didn't register on float for whatever reason, so they're intercepting it, aren't they? It's maybe now what they want. If they've come off the deck, I might just string the shotting out. Just keep loose feeding over the top. Ooh, I like a bit better fish. So I'm going to fish this worm head out, and then I'm going to get the shallower rig out, because these seem to be intercepting it on the way down almost, or they're following it down and having a nibble when it's on deck. So I'm just going to keep feeding a little bit of chop worm every now and again. I'm going to put in some neat caster as well, and just a tiny nugget of that ground bait, just to hopefully draw in some of the roach or the hide, because although these perch are decent weight builders, they're not massive. Those rudd and that roach I've had have been a better size, so if we can draw more of them in, even better really. Keep lifting and dropping, just keep working that rig. Perch do love a moving bait. And it It is quite clear as well today, so they're going to be able to see it. So that's why I think fishing through water is going to be beneficial now, because it's warming up loads, and they're going to start intercepting it. So I'm going to get that other rig out and just have a flick around with that and just see. Going to just start loose feeding caster, bit of chopped worm over at top as well, just with a pole cup. And later on, if there's plenty of fish there, I'm just going to start feeding by hand and get a few fish about, hopefully. And again, we've still got the option of setting up a line straight in front, just with caster over the top. See, so a roach as well. That's a nice roach. See, there's a few of them milling around now. So right then. So yeah, I'm going to have another couple of fish on this worm, and then I'm going to swap to that shallower rig and just up the feed rate, see if we just can't encourage a few more of those roach in. I'm going to put a few casters, nugget of ground bait in, and just see. I don't know if it might be worth just putting a big pot of ground bait in, to be fair. Still no bubbles or indications over that Fiuka line, so we'll just give that a miss for now, I think. And while we're catching fish here, I'm reluctant to come off feeding fish, so we'll see. I've over-greased that tip as well. It's like a blooming lighthouse now, which is annoying. But anyway, we can't have everything, can we? A few bubbles actually now where them Fiukas went in. So there could be something there. So it might be worth a little bit of a look actually. Just to give that ground bait chance to do its thing. Do one more lift and drop. About 4 foot water. And then I'm going to just drop in on that Fiuka line, I think. And just see. Yeah, there's a few fish milling about, so I'm going to give this Fiuka side 5 minutes as usual. Just give it 5 until 5 past. We'll give it 7 minutes. That'll give that little side there a chance to rest. And we'll see if a few more roach and that start coming out. I'm going to set up a caster line, I think. Literally just fish straight in front of me. Just feed mid-water. Because they're going to be up in water, aren't they? They're not going to be on the deck today, I don't think. Not in the middle anyway. Anything past it's like 5-6 metres, it does drop off massively. So we'll have to see. But it doesn't look like there's much here at all. Oh, bloody big leaf. That's not good. This inside line might be a little bit too close in, to be honest. It's been in 3 minutes with 0 indications. There's been literally nothing happening. There's some bubbles coming up though. So there was some having a rummage around, but I thought would have had an indication by now if there was anything there. So I'm going to get back in on that left on line with that bit of chopped worm and just see. Right, so we've rested this side for about 5 minutes. Since we fed that ground bait, chopped worm, some casters. I did try the right hand line, but there's just nothing there. I think it's too close in really, although it's deep. I think it's a little bit too close in, so I'm going to sit on this for a little while. There's not really much coming out anywhere, but I really feel I should start feeding a few casters shallow, so that's exactly what I'm going to go and do. Don't want to be fishing too far out though with these, but if we can get a few wide coming up shallow, it's it's going to be more beneficial because I can drop this rig down, put another bit of pole on and just flick it out in effect. So so there's been a few fish showing. I've had a couple of 2 or 3 casts shallow over top, but it didn't really get anything, so I've just dropped the float back up to about 5.5 foot. Just going to ping a few casters over top and just see. It's gone really quiet everywhere really. Guy next to me's had a couple of roach, so we'll see. Not really much happening anywhere else, to be fair, so I'm going to give this 5 minutes because I know there's a few fish out there. It's just a matter of seeing if we can't tempt him with a caster or two, but it's still early. It's only well, nearly 25 past 11, so been fishing just over 2 hours, and this last hour's been really slow compared to the first one. So we'll give it a few minutes. I'm just going to drop into that left hand side in a minute or two and just see. I'm going to feed a load of chopped worm over top. Well, that catapult bust, so that's a load of rubbish. Great. So I'll have to use my other one, which I don't really like because it's cack. Brilliant. There's a bite then. Doing my fit. Oh no, we didn't. It's still on, innit? Right then. So that's interesting. Is interesting. That was a perch on caster. Oh, all the way out there. So there's a few. Hopefully there'll be a few more fish out there. So we'll see. Yeah, it's the stage of the match now where it has gone decidedly quiet. Time coming, but at least we know there's fish there, and that was feeding just the neat worm, just neat worm, nothing else with it. So hopefully there'll be a few more there now, and we can start stringing together another few fish. So that's the way to go then, I think, is just a matter of feeding in the neat worm. If anything else comes along, it's going to be a bonus, isn't it? So difficult really to lay that rigging strung out because of all the debris on the blooming water. It's carnage. So we're bang on halfway mark. It's now 11:45. We've had 24 fish. So we'll see. The only one really that I've seen catching is the lad next to me, to my left. He's been stringing together a few fish. I think I've caught more, but I think his might be slightly bigger, so we'll have to see. We'll keep plugging away. Just a matter of just chopping and changing, trying different things. I think that neat worm is definitely helping more than the ground bait, but we'll see. And again, it's almost like any autumn match, even on commercials. It's a match of two halves. First half will be a bit tough. You just got to catch a few and start building a bit of a weight. And then in the afternoon, when the sun comes out and they start having a proper feed, that's the time to start really bagging, getting in amongst them. But again, it's all about keeping your options open. Just going to keep lifting and dropping, just working, just keep working at it, just keep giving them something to home in on. It's perch, they do love a bit of movement. There we go. Ooh, he's off. I don't mind catching perch, but I do mind getting constantly spiked in the hand and the fingers. Yeah, it's gone quieter again. It's have a spell, get a couple of bites, and then just dries up a little bit. It seems to take a little bit longer just to get a bite. There, right then. So I'm still gonna stick to the original planks. These bites are taking a little bit too long really to come. I know we're catching consistently, aren't we? Oh God, in Bennett man, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to feed this and rest it or keep plugging away. We're getting a bite every 4 or so minutes. Let's go back in, see how make a decision based on that. We'll see. So what I'm tempted to do is when I come off it is put in 2 massive pots of ground bait, a load of dead reds, and a ton of casters, and just leave it and just try fishing straight in front or over that right hand line. Because there's the odd fish there, but not in any numbers that they were earlier, so I don't want to fish them all out completely if I've got a chance of nabbing a few further out. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm going to start pinging a few casters out again just to see if I can't keep a few more in the area. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to just drop in on this right hand line and just see if there's out there. I've been saw a few bubbles really early on. I dropped in on it and had nothing. And then to be fair, I've not really noticed anything else, but I've not really had much chance to take my eyes off this float because we've been piecing together quite a few fish, so I'm going to drop in now. If there's anything shallow, I've been on here 5-10 minutes now. I've not had a nibble or anything, no indications, no liners, nothing. Well, with plenty of loose feed going over the top, so what I'm going to do is come back in, fish caster on that short line where I've been fishing with the worm. We put those 2 big balls of ground bait, plenty of chopped worm, a few casters, dead reds. So we'll see, I might try a couple of dead reds actually, or a single dead, we'll just see, because there's nothing happening out there at all now. Yeah, it's gone very dead. Very dead indeed. Right, I'm not wasting time on this. So, what we'll do is quick update. We're not had a fish for about 15-20 minutes to be perfectly fair. Tried the right hand line. Again, didn't have anything, no indications, nothing. Tried a bit further out, just loose feeding caster with catty, see if anything was roaming around shallow. Again, nothing. There's been a couple showing shallow, but nothing of any quality that's feeding. So what I've done is Before I started changing lines, I did feed quite a lot of ground bait in with some dead reds, casters and some little bit of chopped worms. So I've just dropped back in now this left hand side with a couple of dead reds on and just fed a little pour pot of dead reds over the top. So we'll see what happens, but no one's catching anything anyway on ponds, so I'm not really overly concerned. If someone else was bagging up doing something, I'd try and swap onto that, but they're not, so it doesn't really matter. Would be nice to get a few other fish out now though, while no one else is catching, so I think I might have got a bit too giddy and overfed it with caster. Maybe. Right then. I'm going to have to just play the waiting game, I think now. It's I've swapped baits quite a bit, chopped and changed, no indications whatsoever, no liners, nothing on anything really, so I've just gone back in with a worm head on and just loose fish some chopped worm and some casters over the top. So we'll just have to see, but it could just be that period of time when the pond switches off, do you know what I mean? A lot of waters go through like a bit of a break midday, and this is banging midday. It's 1:45 just gone now, so got an hour and a half left. So we'll see. I just want to try and get a few more in. Clicker's saying 27 fish, so I just have to keep plugging away. I don't know, I enjoyed that. That was good. Right then. So, yeah, the clicker says 30 fish, so we'll see how we've come. We'll see. Alright there folks, so yes, we've weighed in a mighty £2 and 7 ounces, which was second. Yay! So we're in the beer tokens. So yeah, that was good. £12 odd won it from Peg 21. He's basically just backed up on skimmers most of the day, just fishing one line, whereas the rest of us along that side next to him, the lad next to me weighed in £2.3. He finished joint third. And at one point he were catching up to me, so we're catching a better stamp of roach. He went in initially and had 3 small perch out, but he said he didn't want to catch the perch, he wanted to focus on the roach, so he switched to soft pellet, and that's what was working for him. So that's given me a few ideas, just to see, it might be worth just having a second line just with some formula expanders maybe, just to see if later on I can target those roach basically. But yeah, we'll see. It was a good match. It was it were technical, which I thought it would be. The weather didn't help. It were blowing tons of debris into the peg, but it is what it is. I'm dead chuffed with second. I suppose with that now, I'm kind of committed to doing the league now. You're allowed another dropper. It's the best 5 out of 7 results, so I can't really complain at second. It's a really, really good start. The next one's in a fortnight. I am having a knock-up match with a fellow YouTuber, John from Hooked Fishing Channel. Go and check it out. There's a link in the description. That is on Wednesday. Today's Sunday. That's going to be Wednesday. So this will already be up and live before that one, but I'm going to try a few things during that one just to see if we can make any differences for the next one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next time. Cheers.